Hi, I'm Tree and this is Stitchless TV. On the Great British Sewing Bee, they're going to be upcycling men's jackets. So I thought you'd like to have a look of some examples of men's jackets that I've upcycled. Now particularly this one, because I don't think I've shown it to you before. For some reason, I've held back. So, would you like to have a look, a close look? So this jacket actually started out as a massive vintage Marks and Spencer's men's blazer jacket. And when I tried it on in the shop, I just looked ridiculous. But the reason why I bought it really big, because I thought the bigger the jacket, the more fabric to play with. Now, I did get a bit carried away and I think the reason why I haven't shown it to you is because I've needed this time to recover from the experience, and it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it to. So in the beginning I couldn't decide whether I wanted it to be like this side with these kind of, I don't know what you would call them, would you call them epaulettes maybe, on the sleeve, with a slight gathering. I've got a slight gathering up there. Shall I show you that? There's a little bit of gathering there. And still with the functioning breast pocket. I managed to keep that. And it has this kind of peplum. Can you see that peplum? And I kept the pocket. Now, the other side, the other side, yeah, I think I slightly overstretched myself with the other side. So at the time I was a bit frustrated because it isn't perfect. It's supposed to look like a kind of Carmen Miranda person and then like a shadow of it. It's supposed to look like she's got flowers up here. There's a pocket in there and there's actually a pocket in there, but it was way too ambitious for an upcycle project. Now what I didn't like about it was I should have paid more attention to stabilizing this bit here at the front, because it doesn't actually sit very well. I feel like I could pinch some excess out of there. Would you like to have a look at the back? Let's have a look at the back. So on the original jacket, it had a double vent opening at the back. It didn't have this box pleat, so I put this box pleat in here to make it fit the waist. I've kept all the lining there, but I'll show you inside in a minute. And then here, well, you can't see that very well. I'll show you this in a minute, but it is actually a draped heart. I don't know why I put myself through this, but can you see that line? So this shadow line continues in one piece going all around to there. I don't know why I did that. And then this is one, I do know why I did that. And then this is one piece that continues all the way up to here. Now the method that I used for doing this is a TR cutting technique, and I can put links to videos that will give you a clue as to how to begin to go about doing something like this. So can you see that? Can you see that it's one of those draped hearts? So this is fabric that I added, so that isn't fabric from the actual jacket. I could have used the lining fabric, could I? No, I couldn't. There wouldn't have been enough of it. But look, can you see that line? See how it continues around in one piece? So these are some photos. I haven't got many of them, but here are some photos of the process of how I went about doing this. And it started off by sketching on the stand. I like to do that quite a lot. So I had my fitted bodice block and I sketched out the design of how I wanted it to look. And then I went about applying the TR cutting techniques, and the inside looks really complicated and very rough, but then it all starts to come together. Inside, should we have a look inside? So when I upcycle things, I do I want it to still look well done. So I made use of any finished off edges that were already there. I made use of the lining. I didn't introduce any other fabric with the lining. I kept the pockets, which are actually full of leftover. In fact, maybe that's why it bulges so much. They're full of like leftover bits, just in case I might want to do something with them. And then I put that label in the top. What's that label say? Oh dear. Yeah, my jacket's been liberated. But yeah, I don't know, I thought you might like to see it. Now, before we go on to this one, which is much easier, wow, if you're going to upcycle a jacket, just keep it nice and simple like that. Before we go on to it, I just want to tell you a little bit of a story. So when I was doing this thing with upcycling a man's suit jacket or blazer, I went on this mega hunt for men's suit jackets, and I looked in charity shops, and so this massive one came from a little vintage shop in Sheringham. So I looked you know, in shops in real life, and then I looked at Oxfam online, and they had some brilliant suits and jackets in there. And then I saw they had a whole suit that was pre-owned by Mark Ronson. I thought, no way. And I think it had some sort of bidding thing going on. And it was only like £20, you know, not much at all. Anyway, in the end, I got it. And it turned out that at one of his live shows, he had his sister, Samantha Ronson, apparently she's some sort of musician as well, and she wore it, and look, on there, I didn't do that, it says SR, which I believe is for Samantha Ronson. Anyway, look, do you want to have a look? So it isn't anything particularly special, really, but it was worn by Samantha at one of Mark Ronson's early gigs live on stage. So anyway, I don't know, I thought that was quite interesting. So before I go, I just want to say this: if you're going to upcycle a men's jacket, you know what, don't take it apart and put it back together again like that, because you'll just lose the will to live and you won't look at it for a year like me. Do something like this. So I appliqued a bit of a floral design from an old vintage curtain. I have got a tutorial on this, on how to access inside the lining. I added elbow pads to it. Now I think I should get closer on this. I have always liked embellishing and adding detail to the back of jackets, sort of building it up like you do on the back of a kind of biker jacket. Anyway, so if I was ever on, a bit crowded now, if I was ever on the sewing bee, these are the sorts of things that I would do to upcycle and transform a men's jacket. If you like this sort of thing, go and look at our playlist for fashion students and sewing enthusiasts. There are loads of free TR cutting videos in there, or go and do Shingo Sato's TR cutting course. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye.